What's up guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at my customized / Kitbash Mezco Spider-Man Homecoming. This box comes from the Manipple Studio Tony Stark from Civil War, and I've just super glued some decals from the Mezco box. And here he is out of the package along with everything that he comes with. So you can see he includes a lot of web accessories, a few extra alternate head sculpts, as well as the alternate hands, some more webs. He's got the MAFEX mask and cell phone, and I'll talk about where all these webs come from later in the video. Now you may be looking at this and thinking, okay, you just slapped a third-party head sculpt onto the Mezco, this isn't a custom. It's a little more complicated than that, just slightly. I have modified the MAFEX neck so that it could fit onto the Mezco body. And that just required a Dremel tool to kind of widen out the hole so they could fit on this peg, and luckily it worked the first time around. The reason that I did this was so that I could use the MAFEX head sculpt. The original Mezco head sculpt is really oversized and it just doesn't look accurate, and I think the MAFEX is the most accurate MCU Spider-Man head sculpt in any scale. No other company, not even Hot Toys in 1/6, gets this shape right. Now I got these from the MAFEX Far From Home Spider-Man, and the red on that figure is super bright, so I had to dull it down with some flat red Vallejo. And while it is fairly flat, I had to dull it down even further with some TS80, and that also functions as a sealant, so I don't have to worry about paint scratching. So this custom was fairly simple compared to some of my other customs, but it really packs a punch. I think that this head sculpt complements the suit so well, and it just really takes the whole figure up a notch. Taking a look at all the details, you're probably very familiar with this figure by now, but I just love all of the intricate details and the way that they modernized the classic Steve Ditko Spider-Man. Speaking of Ditko, here's how those squinty eyes look on the body, and I honestly have a really hard time deciding which of the three head sculpts I like the best. I really like this kind of wider-eyed version because it's just the classic MCU Spider-Man look, and I love the Tom Holland unmasked head sculpt from Manipple Studio. This is one of the few times where it's actually a toss-up, because normally I would just by default use the Manipple head sculpt, because these things are just so detailed and they're perfect. The likeness is there from every angle. The realism is unmatched. Now besides a pair of fists, he also comes with a pair of open hands that are different from each other. Just one gripping hand, so that can grip his cell phone, his web, or his mask. I really like this look in particular. As well as thwipping hands, and then I'll show you all of his web accessories. These are from the Mezco. These are from the MAFEX. And then my favorite of the bunch are these metal custom webs that I picked up on eBay. Going over articulation, you're probably all very familiar with this figure, but I'll go over it anyway just to show you where all of the stress points are, what you need to worry about with the suit. That's a big consideration of why this isn't necessarily the perfect 112 Spider-Man. It's really hard to say that because everyone has different preferences when it comes to a 112 Spider-Man figure. With a cloth suit like this, you can't really get that much articulation out of it. You can't get those iconic Spider-Man poses that you can get out of like the Amazing Yamaguchi, or the MAFEX, or the SHF, or Marvel Legends. Basically, any other exposed joint classic type of action figure, you're going to get better articulation than out of this one. But when it comes to my personal preference for my collection, I prefer to have a screen-accurate tiny little costume, even when that's at the expense of articulation. It would be nice if he could pose as well as the Amazing Yamaguchi, and some people have done body swaps, but I'm happy with how it is. Now, because I've swapped out the head and neck, you get a ton more articulation than you did out of the original head and neck. As you can see, he can look up very, very far. He can also tilt side to side, which is awesome. You can get so much attitude out of this. You can look down a decent amount, but you have to worry about the neck popping off. But that's not too bad right there. And of course, the head can also swivel side to side. But yeah, because this figure is so limited in its body articulation, having this really posable neck and head adds so much to the figure. Aside from just looking more accurate than the original head, you can get so much more attitude and just slight tilts that say a lot that the body can't do. Now for some size comparisons, here he is next to the Mezco homemade suit. As you can see, the head is a lot bigger. He's the Mezco Black Panther, custom Doctor Strange, custom Daredevil, the Noda Studio Logan, my custom Star-Lord, my custom Captain America, the Fantascraft Iron Man Mark 85, my custom Thor, and here he is with the Avengers lineup. It's so cool to see all of these characters all together in their sort of modernized classic looks. Like the MCU itself, it's so fun to put a lot of effort into each of these individual characters and then see them all together. And that will wrap up this video on my Kitbash Spider-Man Homecoming. If you like this video, please consider subscribing, checking out my Instagram for more content like this, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.